Welcome, friends. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Emmy, and you're on the Emmy YouTube channel, Zen with Emmy, and I'm so excited to share a new lesson with you today for your Monday and your week ahead. What we're going to learn today, well, first let's talk about materials. So we are going to need some basic materials, a pen, a pencil, and we're also going to use, if you have it, grab yourself the best paper that you have. I'm using this very soft paper from Zentangle. It's a 3.5-inch square or 9 centimeters square. So if you have this paper or paper like it, we are going to do color pencil today. We're going to use these colors, and you can use whatever color you happen to have on hand. Your micron pen, your pencil. We may or may not use a blender stump because I'm planning on using the white instead of a blender stump today. So I'm going to show you a color pencil lesson as well while we're learning. Let's see where we're going with this very fun pattern. Oh, don't forget, you might need some energy while we're working together, especially if color pencils are new to you. You will want some energy, won't you? I will too. Let's have some kisses and maybe mints. And at a moment when you say you need a pause, I'm not sure what I want to do now, grab your chocolate, grab what you have handy. And here's where we're going. This is so much fun. I liked Moonberry so well the first time that I decided that we would do it, only we'll do it a little differently. We'll do it in a bush. So I made a lot more leaves than I did last time. Here's another example. Isn't that a hoot? I just hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Without any more effort or thought, let's just get started. Grab your pencil, put dots wonky style in the corner, and connect them. And I meant wonky style, which means we're not going for perfection here, okay? This is just, we want to get something on the paper. Zentangle is such a forgiving hobby, but it's really hard to look at a blank canvas and say, what do I do with all that paper? Well, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put a bunch of orbs or circles, whatever you like to call them, large and small, all over the place. I am going to have some butt into the next periodically. And I probably am going to leave some space so that I can have some more later. And because I'm working in pencil, as you know, Zentangle is meant to be changed when it's in pencil. So no biggie there. Let's talk about what a moonberry looks like. A moonberry is a circle or an orb. And then what we do is we have kind of a star like we used to make in school. And then we put kind of this wavy line around it to finish off our moonberry. Now, I don't know where the top or the bottom is on a moonberry, so I'm not going to worry about that. The other pattern that we're going to do today is by Zentangle's headquarters. Looks like this. You're going to start at the bottom or the base, and you're going to come out with a kind of a bow or a big comma. You're going to come back on itself like that. So it's like a balloon or something like that almost. And then we put a dot or a line in the middle and a couple of dots, maybe 2, maybe 3, whatever you prefer. And how do you like that? It's just that simple. So now we've got our orbs all over the place. And I'm going to take a minute, and I do want to do a few more that back up into each other, like I did on the sample that I have for you here. Some of them butt into each other, and I think that that's very fun and a very fun technique. So, and again, it's a very good idea to turn your paper as you're working so that your work is in front of you and so that it changes it a bit too. That's another part of this kind of fun stuff we're doing today. Because I'm not sure where the top or the bottom of a moonberry is, and you might agree with me. You don't know either. They are just pure fun. As you can see, some are small, some are large. My pencil is handy so that if I want to add more, I can quite easily. Whoop. I'd like that star to have that point there. There. So again, with no top and no bottom, because that's what Zentangle typically is, it doesn't matter where you start with your basic branches that you're going to have on your bush today. So what I'm going to do, because I've got some things going here enough, that I'm going to branch out. I'm going to go right through. Maybe then I'll come back. Maybe I'll catch this one on the way up. And then I do that Zentangle go behind method. I'm sure you've heard of that. If from nobody else, you've heard of it from me. I'm going to come down here like this. I'm going to make another branch that goes up here now. Maybe it'll go through and catch this one too. Your choice, your call, and your drawing. So of course, make it the way you see fit. So just like any other drawing, anytime you do this or a Zentangle drawing, it's probably going to turn out a little bit different and reflect where you are at that moment in time. Let's bring another branch out here to grab up that one. And maybe I'll need another one coming off here. That's how my whimsical mind sees it today. And then I'm going to darken in these berries, these wonderful moonberries that we've been making. And I'm not going to worry if it's not precise with my pencil marks. That's all going to, like we talked, blend in. And pencil is made to be changed. It's quite a large one. Let's add a few more before we, oh, forgot about him or her. I'm going to add a few more on before I get going on my leaves on my bush. I hope you'll do the same. These things are always in the eye of the beholder, the artist, you and me. Feel free to go outside the pencil margins that you have made. It's so much fun. Maybe I'll even add a few more, but for now I think I'll get going on those flux leaves that I showed you. And I'm just going to scatter them everywhere. So I'll just start right in any spot and just start adding leaves. There will be obviously some times when I have to lift my pen and imagine that they're going behind. Like this. I want one here. So I have to kind of imagine. Just like nature, it's not perfect. It's in the eye of the artist, and I am doing this with you. And yours will look quite different than mine. Once in a while, I had an extra cup of coffee, and so my handwriting will be a little bit shaky. I like the leaves to go different ways, which is, again, why I'm turning my paper so that I can get that look that I'm trying to get of a bush. I want one off here. Maybe the artist in me wants another. I think I need a little Moonberry in there. I'm going to squeeze him in. Where else? Maybe here? Before I let my pen go, I want to make sure, not that I can't pick it back up, of course, but try to make sure I've got most of them on here. And I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to corner out these areas where the tree and the thicker branch meets the thinner branches. It just gives it a little bit more of a finished look to trim it like that. That little bit of darkening or thickening. This would have a bit on it too. Look it over. Add a little bit here and there where these leaves are going to come out of the bush. Going to go under there. That's cool. That one has to too. Ooh, isn't this fun? Probably will want to add a whole bunch more, but for now, I'll let this go. And I just hope you come along and show me some of the cool stuff you've done so that we can all grow together. So let me leave it there for a moment, and I'd like to put the border around right now. The way I'm going to do that on this tile or piece of paper that I'm drawing on is I'm going to outline the four corners with my pen. Now that I've got those outlined, I hope you liked this. I'm just doing a little dot dash going around a little bit. It kind of replicates what's going on inside. So these dots are pretty substantial. And then the dash. It looks like I got a 3-to-1 pattern going on there. This is kind of going to push in my design just a bit and hold it in place. But going outside like we did is a lot of fun. Oop. That's what happens when you get your Zen on. You totally forget. Maybe I need some chocolate. And that's pretend. And now I'm back to the start. So let's talk color pencils. Grab yourself a piece of scrap paper. Every color pencil that you have has 3 shades. This green that I'm using today, it's a Prussian green, has a light green, a medium pressure green, and a hard, heavy green. And we're going to use all 3, the lightest, the medium, and the darkest, depending on where we are. So you should be able to get 3 shades out of every pencil that you have. But to begin with, let's start by having some of these berries not yet ripe. That was kind of important to me. Look at this. This is pretty natural. So I've got some berries that are not yet ripe. These berries are very not ripe. But I used this yellow to get me started, and I'm going to choose, it seems to me that the ones that would not yet be real ripe would be the smallish ones, but I could be wrong about that. I'm going to just put it on just a few, this yellow color, to get me going here. And then I'm going to switch over because I want to have the second color be kind of a red. Yes, I think maybe I'll even use this one because I want it to be kind of a red. So I'm going to use this Crimson Lake. I'm going to come around in a circular motion and incorporate that yellow. I'm working, there's a lot of pigment in this, so I'm working really, really, really lightly. And I also don't want all my underneath pen marks or pencil marks and pen marks to go away. So just trying to get some of the divots out and get the into the paper, get this color into the paper a little more. I think that's all the yellow that I did. Now I'm going to come back with my yellow again. I'm going to have a little harder pressure this time with my yellow. There's not quite as much pigment in the yellow, so you have to work a little harder to get the color out of the light ones onto the page. But my goal is to have these look not very ripe. Pretty normal, isn't it? Not everything is going to be ripe at the same time. If you decide you want a few more or a few different places that you want them, I'm trying very hard to let my pen of the berry shine through. And then I'm going to put this little bit of a smile in the corner as kind of an indicator of where the light source is. Like that. Set those aside for now, and let's grab our, I'd like to put a little, I think that the stems on a bush, a berry bush, would have a bit of red in it. So I'm using that Crimson Lake that I was using before. I have it very, very sharp, and I'm going to put a little of this red in bits here and there in the yellow, or in the bush. Not in the yellow. Okay, now going to the brown, which is sepia. I'm going to come along in the brown and add a few more color. Adding a little brown right over that red will change it up quite a bit. Again, this is as sharp as I could get it. My idea is that it will blend, and I will still leave a little bit of white behind here. There you go. Wouldn't matter if you missed a couple here and there. It won't matter at all. So it's a branch of a tree or a bush. Okay, so when we got those colors on there, now I'd like to get going on those gorgeous moonberries that are very much ripe. And I decided to use these 2 shades, just a pink, a rose, and I'm also going to use a blue. And now if you have those colors in your kit, grab them. But if you don't worry about it. Grab whatever you have. All I'm doing is lightly, as you can see, in a circular motion, I'm laying color on all of the berries. This is such a peaceful summer project. You can sit in the window or out at the beach or wherever you like to do this fun thing. Now, grab that blue or purple or whatever you chose and go over this a little bit. And I'm working lightly because there's a ton of pigment in this. I want to go over the pink and get a new color. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not sure what color moonberries are. So I'm just deciding that today they're this color. And if you do some, maybe you can post it on Emys Zen Friends, the Facebook site. Wouldn't that be fun? Just pushing and pushing the color into these berries a little bit more. I don't have to work real heavy-handed here. Let's come back with the pink again. Go over it one more time. Medium pressure this time. Getting into the divots of the paper a little, so a few of the, less of the little white particles that are the color of the paper will show through. And the last thing I want to do with this is I want to go over it with my white. And if you happen to have white or a light color, this really makes it look creamy. Makes your colors look creamy. Now I am using quite a heavy hand on this blue, or on this white on the berries. But that said, I still used good enough stuff. My pen and everything were a pretty good quality so that I won't lose sight of that berry branch that I have there, and that would be important not to lose. I don't want to have to go back to it with my pen, but I might, who can say. Grab that blue again, or the first color that you did, not the pink, and put half a smile in each of these. Just like that. Just kind of on an angle. I like to do it toward the bottom of the berry, the smile, and then I'm going to go back one more time and kind of burnish it and push it in so that it doesn't quite pop off the page quite as much as it is right now. Your pencils are just absolutely floating by the time you're on your third or fourth layer like this. And I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. And I am going to put a link on here in case you decide you want to treat yourself to some Prismacolors. But they're available like at most stores, like hobby stores. And you can buy individuals if you want. But this is not an expensive hobby. You might decide you want to treat yourself. Ooh, is this ever popping now, isn't it? Isn't this fun? I could go on and on and on with this. And I think I'll leave it right here for now. Okay, I'd like to do something with these leaves. So I'm going to grab 3 pencils this time. I'm going to use a light medium green, apple green in this case. I'm going to use a bit of a darker green, Prussian green, and I'm going to use my yellow. That's just the way I decided to do the leaves. You can do them however you choose in whatever colors you have on hand. And watch what I'm doing. I'm just going to wash the green on to each of the leaves, again in a circular motion. Just getting color on here now. I need a contrast to all that pretty blue of our beautiful moonberries. But I'm sure you've guessed it, we're going to go over this a couple more times. So this time all we're doing is just trying to get the basic color into this. There, I've got all my leaves on. Now I'm gonna come through with my dark green, and I'm just gonna put a bit of that dark green right in the middle where the fold would be of this leaf. These Prisma pencils are just buttery soft. Coming with my yellow now. Again, it's very sharp because I've got some little spaces to get into. And I'm going to wash over the whole thing with this light yellow in circular motion. Just pushing all the colors together. Little yellow shows through, a little green shows through. How very pretty is this? I hope you like it. I just think it's so pretty. I just couldn't help it. I was blueberry picking this week. The blueberries are ready, and I had something else in mind for us today to work on for the week's project. And then I got thinking about those moonberries and how much fun they were and how much they reminded me of blueberries. So that's why we ended up with this lesson for the week. I hope you don't mind revisiting it, although it is quite a bit different than the first time we did it together a couple months ago. As are we. We're quite a bit different. I think I'd like to wash over these leaves very carefully with some green, that first green that I used on here. Look how that changes everything again. Again, that just starts to lift off the page. And the sharper the pencil, the better you'll like what's happening. And don't worry if the little white shows through in this way. I think it looks gorgeous. Just pushing a little color on there. It's a wow, isn't it? Could even add more moonberries if you want. Wouldn't that be fun? I like what I've got going though, so I'm going to leave it, and I'm just going to add a border with an aqua color. I'm going to go all over very lightly, all the way around. My cool little border I made is nicely hemmed in. And really, because I've got such a lot of color, don't have to worry about even circular motion or anything. I'm just laying this on, as you can see, very casually, not worried about it at all. Just get it on. We're going to do something with it in just a minute. So hang with me. Now that I've got all the color laid on there, I'm going to go over this, and I did the first time with just very lightly, as you noticed. This time, I'm going to go close to all of my edges with a medium pressure. Just take this corner for an example. Now I'm going to see how the middle is quite light, and I don't want to delineate too much there. I want this to have like it's got a shadow on it, and the middle will be white. So I want to have there just be a little bit of differentiation. Watch this. I'm going to go over this, medium pressure, close to the berries, close to the leaves, and then the middle is hollow, but or lighter blue, lighter teal. This is a very fun way. There's other fun backgrounds we can do too, but I think this is quite a lot for today. We don't have a big space to worry about, so we'll do a different kind of background next time. If you find that you have laid just a little too much on, just come back and kind of brush it out. Like that, you might think that was just a little too much. If just go over it like this, and it'll fade back into the background again. A little more here. Wherever there's an edge. Leaving the middle the lightest teal. Or, you know, I did one with a light blue, and I quite like that too. I think you might like yours too. You can fuss with this and have quite a lot of fun with it at your own time. And I hope you do, and I hope you show me what you've done. I hope you post it on Emys Friends or send me a comment of how much you liked it. I hope you love it. See, it just has the effect of giving it a bit of a shadow. See if I can get into this little spot here. And a little bit more. I don't think I missed anything. Gosh, it's pretty. I hope you really like yours too. Take a minute, grab your pen, put your initials, or like Rick and Maria in Zentangle say, put your chop on. And if you have another side, you might put the date on the back to commemorate that we did this wonderful thing together. And for you and me, it's chocolate time. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.